spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of jank, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of electronics repair. This is the BigBadBench Wide World of Jank.
Thank you to all my patrons. Oh, hello everyone. Well, you don't need to see my face. So anyway, here we go. Let's roll. Welcome to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist, and today we're going to be working with this guy. This is my single board. I'll put that in a little air quote dealies. 486 computer, and so it started its life as a single board PC down in there, and then I made a case out of a single barn board. Get it? It's hilarious. So we did some streams about that a while ago, and basically, you know, we learned how to cut glass. We played with this. We made our external ISA bus out of enameled wire, and eventually it worked. And so the part of the goal for this was to show off the PicoGUS, which is a very cool sound card. So let's listen to some of this. I have something going in the background here, so let me wake that back up. That is so badass, isn't it? So this is called Starshine. This is a mod file. Let's get out of here. Or a S3M file. So that's the reason I sort of built this, to kind of show that off, because it's just such a cool thing. And so Ian Scott Pulpo, the maker designer of the PicoGUS, which is emulating a Gravis ultrasound for way less than what you can buy a real Gravis ultrasound for, also created this really awesome thing, which is the PicoIDE. So this is the PicoGUS, this is the PicoIDE. And so this is an IDE emulator, and I have not played with this yet. So I met up with Ian at VCF West, and he handed me this, and I almost pooped. So I was very excited to get this. So we're going to play with this finally, because I really haven't had a chance to do so. Before that, we got to pop this CPU out because it is not running at its proper speed. If we reboot this thing, we're going to see maybe somewhere in here, maybe. And I got to say hi to folks in the chat. I will do so. There we go. We got an AMD 46DX4, whatever, at 100 megahertz. This should be a 133, and I would turn that down because I was playing with some overclocking stuff. So you can futz with some resistors on the bottom of the processor and change the processor speed. So yeah, so we got to put that back. We got to increase our multiplier back to what it's supposed to be, a 4x multiplier. So let's see if we can totally destroy my single board PC. And also, I gotta say hi to folks in the chat. So let me do that all. There's too many. Is it possible to water cool those old PCs? Oh yeah, that is totally a thing you can do if you're so inclined. All right, so let me say hi to folks while you're taking a look at this here. There's my enameled wire. Don't look too close at it. It's not great when you look real close. We got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, Steve Zundert, Mr. Tech Gadget, Valerie Vonk, All Things DG, CMD Big Mike, Trina's Techno Babble, Alan Gracia, Francois Reval, Jack 68K, Lazy Blue Goat, Asmodeus Devoluke, Joe's Computer Museum. Joe, are you going to be selling these eventually? Once the original thing sells out? Who am I missing? Hey, Aldrich, 1982, welcome. Wow, lots of people here. Hello, thank you all for chatting. Jason Starbuck, Adam Baranek, Kevin, Megatog, welcome. SJ Brian EXE, great name. External AM radio bus, yes. Pico everything. Gut Bomb Tech. Jason Gut Bomb Tech is here. Pico PDP 11. That's probably already a thing. Starbuck. Oh, Pico IDE will be in JCM-1. Nice. The primary North American distributor. Very nice. All right, cool. Let's see. Hackman Official, hello. I have a 370 socket Celeron 409 running Windows 98. Nice. Very good. Gotta love a Celeron. All right, so this guy right here is a funky kind of processor, and I should probably disassemble the entire thing just so that we can get it out, but I'm kind of lazy, and so we're probably going to just destroy everything, because that's how things tend to work around here. And of course, this one does not have a zero insertion port socket, which would make this a lot easier. Oh, also, if you happen to notice these on the bench, I ordered some PCBs to make up some XT IDEs because I needed a few for some projects upcoming. But I ordered too many, and so if any folks need one for, I'm not going to sell them to make money. I'll sell them to whatever my costs are. Okay, so let's go under the microscope and take a look here. Where's the microscope? There's the microscope. So if we look at this, we can see I took a resistor off of there. Supposedly these resistors also can tell you what way the cache works, so I will be playing with that eventually. That's not the topic of today's stream, though. We need to redo R9 because I think that will turn our multiplier back to 4x. So what do we got here? I probably lost the 0 ohm resistor. So we're gonna do this BigBadBench janky style. We are just gonna solder a jumper over that bad boy. And Gutbaum designed the case for the PicoIDE. So yeah, we'll show that off again in a second. Very excellent 3D design work if you need someone to help you design things. Pay Gutbaum or Jason from Gutbaum Tech a lot of money to go design your things. Okay, so we're gonna jank that one up. Joe wanted some jank, so here you go, Joe. Jank jumper using a leg from a capacitor or some stuff. Yeah, he only charges $1,500 an hour for consulting. It's really cheap. How's that? Is that janky enough for everyone? All right. So the other thing is, this is actually a really cool single board computer. It can use either 5 volt or 3.3 volt processors. The thing I noticed is that if you set it for 3.3 volts, this thing can run on 3.3 volts, but the fan doesn't work. And so I have to set it to 5 volts so that the fan actually works. So that's a little annoying, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, so let's see if we can get this all reassembled and happy without destroying our ISA bus. I have brought this to, I think I saw Dave's Vintage Apple Tech mention he saw it in person and that it looks cooler in person. Thank you very much, Dave. That was very kind to say. I have brought this to VCF East and to VCF Midwest. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make Midwest this year. Okay, I think that's it. This is very fancy. I have a magnet on here that holds the glass on because we don't want our glass just flopping around. Look at that. Look at how fancy we are. That is anti-jank. That's too fancy for this channel. Uh-oh. Now we got nothing. What did I do? Did I put the processor in wrong? We got nothing happening. What did I do? What happened? Oh my gosh. The electrical tape power cord is the cherry on top. Yes, that's true. What did I do? Did I put that processor in wrong? I wouldn't put it beyond me. There's that corner. We got a thing there. We got our thing there. Oof. What the heck, bro? I just destroyed my thing. Oh no, what the heck? What did I do? What did I do? My janky wiring an issue? I don't think so. Let's make sure let's see. Make sure my switch isn't broken. What the heck? This was supposed to be an easy deal. Looks like my switch died. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's fine. Let's see. Let's check if we have 120. What the heck, man? We've got 120 coming in. We got nothing coming out. Oh. Yeah, it's like trying to start and it's stopping itself. What the heck? Let's take the processor back out. That's the only thing we did. Ah, come on. Well, I guess we'll have to try this in another system if I fried it. What the heck? All right, what happens here? So without uh-oh. My jank jumper. It's just a 0 ohm resistor. That shouldn't be a problem. So that just turned on fine without the processor in. Let's take my jank jumper off. That doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense. There used to be a thing there. I took it off. It's a 0 ohm thing. I installed the jumper backwards. Thanks, Starbucks. What the heck, man? What the heck, man? Make sure like, did we blow a tant on the interposer board? Oh, we gotta go back to here. Nope, there. Nope, that's all fine. It's like the via in the middle is just what connects to the one solder pad. Fine. No, that couldn't. I was thinking maybe it. What? Oh, fine. Whatever. Silly processor. That makes absolutely no sense. I'm mad, bro. Does take, and then, yep, we're posting. So I don't know what's going on with that, but we're gonna have to just leave that for now, I guess. Oh well. Wires touching the motherboard? No, there's nothing. Yeah, I don't know. So I turned the multiplier down to 3x just because I was playing with 40 megahertz bus overclocking on this thing. But for some reason, I don't know. I'll have to play around with that off stream. I thought that was going to be a super easy fix so I could have this thing running like it's supposed to, because my goal for the PicoIDE is to run Descent 2, and we really need as much power as we can for Descent 2. Maybe the 0 ohm resistor was not a 0 ohm resistor. Ah. All right, let's see if we're back to our pre overclock mess. Make sure that everything's working happy. Yeah, it used to be at 4x. I have another one, but it's the processor came to me broken, and so I had to do a fragile kind of fix on it, and I don't want to put it into this board because I only want to put it in ZIF boards. Go back to here. We're posting API. What the heck is going on? Why can't I run back where it's supposed to? Find a 0 ohm resistor. Whatever. One bad thing about this is it only has 128K cache. That's sad. You can see we only have one IDE device, our compact flash. I have the drivers installed for IDE CD-ROM. So if we go to edit config.sys, here's our Oak CD-ROM sys /DMSCD000. And then if we go exit, we go to edit auto fat. And there's our CD-ROM of a CD0. So we will have a functional IDE CD-ROM if everything works properly. So my goal is to get the PicoGUS working in IDE mode. Let's go back. Let's go to here. Let me show you this. So this is our benchmarking thing from that I was doing last week. You can see that this single board is not as fast as the 486 DX100s that we were using last week. So our Doom's not as fast. So that system from last week is really quick. That Cirrus Logic 5434. Yes, the spreadsheet is back. So while we're here, so this is the thing for the PicoIDE. So it should be pretty easy to set up. You just add your ISOs, prepare your SD card. You can set up folders like this. So there's a folder called CD-ROM. And you put your stuff in here. If you want to update your firmware, you put your stuff in there. And so what I've done is, let's see if I can share this with you. Is this gonna work? Oh God, there it goes. You don't want that. So this is my compact flash card. I just took a blank EX formatted one, put a CD-ROM folder in it, and then I tossed some CD images in. So I have a Descent 2 ISO, and I have a Descent 2 BinQ. I have a Duke Nukem 3D, and I have X-Wing versus TIE Fighter all in there. So that's what we're gonna play with here in a second. I'm gonna put that back, go back to here. Sorry about the, oh, there we go. All right, so, let's make sure our PicoGUS is still working. XTC, oh no, CD demos, XTC-play, and Starshine. Yep. Okay, so where to go? So a Q file, bin.q is a format that you come across a lot with backed up CDs. It's a way to make sure that you have all of your tracks. Like if you have a mixed mode CD with data and music, I guess it's supposed to work like that. So yeah, it's basically a text file that tells your system what all the tracks are. So let's go back to here. Oh yeah, no, so we're good. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab my SD card, and we're gonna first put it in the PicoIDE. And this is a very fancy push in, eject kind. I was looking at this and it made me realize that I can actually, so if we look at how this thing is set up, my device, don't look at the bottom, it's always worse, right? We're gonna have to take that off. So I just have my compact flash reader kind of crammed in under here. So that's gonna be our master. We gotta set our PicoIDE slave. Gonna connect you. So, the other thing on that website is it says that you can make a INI file, kind of like we do with the Blue Scuzzies, but it says that's optional. So theoretically, just by making that CD folder, we should be okay. Hello, Julian Brown, and hello, Wasteland Wanderer. And hello to whoever, Chris Jackson, hello. Who else have I met there? One Bit Fever Dreams, hello. So yeah, I think what I want to do is leave this in the bottom and then put the control panel, because the control panel is its own little separate dealie. Put the control panel up somewhere that's visible. That's a neat feature about this. Does anyone know what these little wires are called? I'm gonna need a longer one of these. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm not gonna actually mount this thing today. We're just gonna sort of test it and see how things go. When we apply electricity to this, we should get some cool stuff happening in the front panel. An FPC cable, okay. Ooh, that doesn't, oh, that was quick. So it's not really flashing like that in person. That's just my refresh rate on my camera. So I'm sorry about that. So it automatically found the descent2.q file. And let's see what it says on the screen. Found CD-ROM, totally legit CD-ROM drive. CD-ROM mode 4. So this BIOS automatically searches the IDE bus for new devices. Some BIOSes don't. You'd probably have to change it on your own. Sometimes you don't, for CD-ROMs, you don't actually have to see it. But it found it. It found it. It sees it as a CD drive already. That is too cool. Totally legit CD, and it totally works. So if we go to D, we have Descent 2 CD. So let's install this. Let's see. Let's see if this goes. This program will test the playback speed for movies. Okay. System will prompt you with a list of installation choices. Long loading delays. That should actually be kind of a good test for this. So it's going to pull stuff off of the CD. I don't have a ton of space. Should we go small or medium on this? I think if we leave it small, that'll really test the PicoIDE. Now let's leave it at medium. That's the movies are really what we need. C games Descent 2 does not create, does not exist. Yes, we want to make it. How long is this going to take? So the PicoIDE, the PicoGUS can function as a 2x CD-ROM drive if you have it set to Sound Blaster mode. And it's a very cool feature, but it was a little too buggy for my use. So that's one of the reasons I was really excited about the PicoIDE. And so the super awesome thing about the PicoIDE is that Ian developed that it can actually function as two different IDE devices at the same time. So we're only using it as a CD-ROM right now, but theoretically it can be the hard drive and the CD-ROM, which is just totally wild and totally perfect for this use case. This firmware does not support that yet. He hasn't released that firmware, but that is super cool, and that is wild. So that's ultimately going to be like the piece de resistance for this thing, like have it just be everything. So I don't even need my compact flash card thing in there anymore. If you like watching software installs, make sure to hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin, for the reminder. Can you use the PicoIDE as an analog synth knob for your crazy music projects? Probably not. What chipset is the SBC? That is a good question. I believe it's an ALI. It's an ALI chipset. I think it's the 1489 or 1492, something like that. So again, this is a pre-release version of the firmware. You know, this is not representative of final performance or anything like that. But the functionality is what we're going for today, and that's what I'm really excited. That's exactly right, Starbuck. PicoIDE pairs perfectly well with a PicoGUS in your 486. All right, let's set up our sound and music. Auto detect.
0, 0, 0,
PicoGUS.
0, 0, 0.
Oh, where's our sound? Change our music card. What? Oh, Gravis ultrasound. What are we set to? I thought we were set to 240. Test music. No. Uh-oh, we got an issue. Driver's not. What? All right, well, whatever. We're gonna skip music for the time being. Okay, this should be fine. Why did that not work? All right, whatever. Descent 2. Gonna have to change our controls. The audio, there is not an audio header. That is an issue. Why are we having issues? What? Uh-oh. Yeah, Redbook is, well, I think a Redbook will eventually work, but not with the Gravis, or not with the PicoGUS, because it doesn't have an audio in. So there is an audio out on the PicoIDE. All right, so that works. Let's reboot. Oh, you can make one using the wavetable header. Okay. That's interesting. But yeah, Redbook will work with the PicoIDE as far as I understand. That was one of the reasons I think he designed it. Yeah, got all of our PicoGUS installed, I think. Set ultrasound 240 1155. That should be all we need to do. And our PicoGUS in it. I think that's all we need to do. What do we have to do? CD games, CD, Descent 2. Oh, I think I do remember him saying there might be some bugginess with Descent 2. What do we do? Setup. Yeah, setup. Setup sound music. Auto detect. Yes. Test.
0, 0,
Good.
0, 0,
Yes.
0.
Oh, there it goes. All right, whatever. Worked that time. All right, so let's try it again. Come on, baby. Right now, is our PicoIDE working? I think so. Might have some performance issues loading off the CD-ROM drive. Might need to change our install level. Yeah, there you go. Hey, and yeah, maybe use Sound Blaster mode on the PicoGUS. Stupid Descent 2. Stupid Descent 2. Let's reset. Uh-oh, we hard locked. Damn it. It works great with Descent 1. I was just doing it last night. But Descent 1 doesn't need a CD. What about Duke Nukem 3D? Do you think that'll fare better? If we go back to here, oh, let's turn on the lights again. Turn on the lights. Let's change up which. Use this one. Okay, so I just changed it to the Duke Nukem CD. Let's go to, let's see how much space we have left on our hard drive. Uh-oh. Might not be the PicoGUS and PicoIDE's problem. I might have borked something. What do I do with this thing? I mean, it is like precariously dangling out of the side of a thing. This is not the best way to utilize hardware. Thanks, Ian, for stopping by. Awesome thing. Very easy to set up, that was for sure. There's some cool Wi-Fi stuff. That's why there's a Mac Mini on the BigBadBench. I want to see if we can try out the Wi-Fi dealie. Totally legit CD-ROM drive. Oh, I was playing around with some funky memory settings. Maybe I should turn the funky memory settings down. 1 second, let's go into the BIOS. Jack68K says those connections look pretty solid. Yeah, oh yeah, that's great. Nothing janky about this. All right, so let's just do auto. That'll tune things down a little bit. I just triggered Siri. Siri, play some janky music. That is very correct, 1-bit. Gotta play around with the memory settings. That's what we showed last week. You can tweak those settings and have a pretty big impact on your performance of your computer, of your 486 at least. Probably it impacts Pentiums and 386. Yeah, all right, yeah. So yeah, all those. I guess even in modern computers, it's still a thing. Okay, so we're all good there. Let's go. Our what thing? We still have the Duke Nukem 3D D:. Oh, I wanted to see how much space I have left. Oh, 200 megs. Okay, that's good. We're fine. Install Duke Nukem 3D. Duke 3D. There it goes. Setup, sound setup. Choose sound effects card, Gravis ultrasound. Oh yeah, we're going 8/16 stereo. All right. That's interesting. It was like, nah, we're not doing that. Is it because I hit a button? There it is. Yep. Okay, that works. Escape. Controller setup. Set up keyboard. Move forward. That's fine. Strafe left. Strafe right. Okay. Yep. Okay. Save and launch. Here we go. Yeah. This is probably going to be a little rough, but let's see how it does. Let's see how it does. Oh yeah, this is a little rough. That's not too bad. Oh. Oh, it kept both settings, like the old settings. That's funny. All right. Oh, I gotta go my foot. Where's that? Where'd that thing go? I was trying to play through my. All right. Well, it works. We got good music. It installed. That was huge. All right, that's cool. All right, so let's try the other thing. If I can get this thing to run at 133, that would run a heck of a lot better. All right, so let's try the other thing that I wanted to try, the Wi-Fi connection dealy. So let's leave that on for now. And let's go here and let's zoom out. So this is my Mac Mini. Gonna turn you on. And we're gonna switch this to HDMI 2. And hopefully my Mac Mini starts up. So if we go to, oh, there it goes, it's booting. If we go to this web interface, connect to the PicoIDE front panel Wi-Fi network. I wouldn't put it past me that my stream jitters. I don't have the greatest internet connection. I have way too many tabs open. Come on. Come on, Mac Mini, do your thing. So theoretically, we can do this. We can connect to the PicoIDE through the Wi-Fi. Let's see if my Mac Mini decides to throw a tantrum about its video. There we go. So let's go back to here. Oh, now I'm gonna have 3 mice in front of me. This isn't gonna work right. Okay. So turn our Wi-Fi on. PicoIDE front panel. And our password is front panel 123. FRONTPANEL 123. Are we connecting? We are connected. Okay, so now what do? We gotta go to, you're hacking in right now. Okay. So what we want to do is go to http colon / PicoIDE.local. There it is. There we go. Look at that. How cool is that? Maybe you can't see that all that well. What if we zoom in a little bit? View, zoom in, view, zoom in. You can almost make that out. So what we're looking at is we can change up which CD-ROM thing we have. Oh, we can edit our INI file. So it must have created an INI file when we did this. Oh yeah, because it told us to start off with the Duke Nukem 3D. That was not what we had originally started with. Telling us what our firmware is. Neat. So there you go. Oh, look at this. You can upload files. You can take files off of your computer. I don't want to do that because these are all Mac files. Let's see, do we have a CD we could upload? Let's upload the... Oh, this might take 6 hours. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. This might end the stream. Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought. So basically this is 684 kilobytes per second. It's going to take 6 minutes and 25 seconds to upload a 265 megabyte CD image. So that's not too bad. The progress bar is moving, yeah. Can the PicoIDE connect to any existing Wi-Fi network, or do you have to connect it every time? So supposedly you can connect your PicoIDE to your regular Wi-Fi network. I didn't want to really do that on stream. Oh, upload failed. Server returned 500. We had an issue. Let's try it again. Oh. Let's try it again. We'll try it again. Maybe I stood in the way. So it's trying. It's trying. It's a very cool feature that you can remotely upload files. So yeah, you could connect to your regular network and do it that way. I just didn't want to sort of show my network on stream. We got to 9% this time. What do you want? We have like look at what we got here. Look at all this EMI shooting out the side of this computer, and the stupid, what's my power supply? One of those Meanwell. Like that thing's gotta be that's gotta be shooting out EMI like crazy as well. I think everything, all the images that you want to use have to be on the SD card. But apparently you can sort of sometimes upload stuff. I probably wouldn't recommend uploading whole images. But yeah. All right, so it kind of works. It's very cool. I can't, oh yeah, I have a wireless keyboard. That's probably not helping us. Yeah, that little ESP32 Wi-Fi modem thing that's on there is probably not the most robust. But still super cool that it worked, that you can see what's going on, change your CD images, change which images you're using in your drive. That is fun stuff. All right, so we got the basics of it going. The stupid let's go back to the other thing. That processor is still making my brain itch. So let's go back to here. So I want to pop that processor out again and play with this. So anyway, that's the PicoIDE. That was very cool. All right, Alan, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so that's the little like Wi-Fi modem thing that's running. You can see this does have the audio out for your CD, so you can do the Redbook audio stuff. So yeah, that's super cool. Stupid Descent 2 being buggy. All right, let's fart around with that processor. I want to know what's going on there. Why are you vexing me, processor? We should probably disconnect this because that's 120 volts. You wonder what year Wi-Fi will become bulletproof. Isn't it bulletproof now? Doesn't it just work perfectly all the time? So we're gonna take this out. That's out. Processor. I guess we could go grab an actual. I mean, a 0 ohm resistor shouldn't have mattered. All right, I'm gonna grab the other processor I have real quick, and let's just compare. Set this aside. This is my ISA 46 test bench from Tech Ambrosia. If you haven't seen her 3D printable test benches, very useful little tools. But I've had this processor in here. And I haven't wanted to move it because when I got this processor, it was destroyed, and my CPU pin repairs is about as janky as it can be. Can see here, that's my CPU pins, which are basically these were destroyed when I got it. Oh no, what the heck? Is it just that you move it? Let's go under the microscope. This was on the right, this one's the new one on the left. Yes, and if you don't have a 3D printer available, buy them from jcm-1.com. Okay, so let's go back to here. This is the one I just pulled out. R9 is on, R6 is off. Maybe that was our issue. Maybe that I moved it from R9 to R6. I thought that there were two on there, but apparently that's not the case. So that was my issue. Got to move it. Got to move it, move it. All right, so taking you off. And we're gonna put you over there. Okay. Okay, so at least now we know that you can't put both on, apparently. I should have documented that somewhere. Let's go back to here. So again, very useful. Well, it's got little feet. I never noticed that, but you can mount it sideways, you can mount it up. She has like little things that help support these. I forget where you can get the STL files, but I'm sure if you search Tech Ambrosia test bench that you'll be able to find them fairly easily. Okay. Yeah, it would be cool to run a little jumper pad out here. I want to play with these too. Like I supposedly one of these determines whether the cache is in write back or write through mode. Write back cache is faster. So that would be nice. By default, this is put in write through mode because it's more compatible. apparently. So it'd be nice if we figure out which one of those controls that thing. Okay, let's try that. Where did I put my electricity? Okay, gonna work? Yep. Oh, that was dumb. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Well, actually, I mean, we should all believe that I make mistakes incessantly here. If we didn't learn last week that you can fix a video card by using -5 volts, that's about as stupid as it gets. All right, we're back at 133 megahertz. Bet you Duke would work better now. We're gonna do this, then we're gonna go to CD DOS bench. Let's run our Doom. Yep, so that's what they were talking about, the voltage blaster that tech, what's his name? Oh, why can't I think of his name? But there's a couple other devices. Yeah, it's something you just plug in your ISA slot and you get -5 volts if you need it. Necroware, that's his name. Necroware designed one, but I think some other folks designed a more different one. 32.8, that is not fast. Oh, because I turned my RAM timings down. Look at this. Let's look at our this. 32.8. That is pathetic. See, this was 100 megahertz with the RAM timings up. This is 133 with the RAM timings down. Wow. Yeah, Megatog. I was in shock too that the video card required -5 volts, but if we look at, it was kind of an interesting finding. So this is a Orchid Kelvin MPEG, so it has MPEG decoding hardware on it, and it has these little amplifiers down here that sort of determine which video source is coming out to the VGA port, and these require the -5 volts in order to turn on, and so yeah, this was that was an interesting finding. So yeah. This is a pretty kick-ass Visa Local Bus video card, yeah. That's why I was really upset when it wasn't working. All right, I'm really frustrated by that terrible performance. So let's tune our mem timings again. Yeah, the 128 cache is also hurting us. I wonder if we could solder on more cache. We should think about that in the future for this single board PC, because 128 is kind of offensive. Let's change our so it does sound with the MPEG. It's not a regular, it can't function as a sound card by itself, but it outputs down to your sound card so that you can combine it when it's decoding the MPEG. Let's go here first. Let's make sure our cache is enabled. It is. Chipset features, auto, no. Gonna do that. Okay, save. Omoris, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I forget. Omoris, just released a BIOS editor for 386 computers, which is really awesome. It lets you enable a bunch of hidden settings and whatnot. Hopefully he'll release one for 486 era computers soon, and that would allow us to probably have more settings available. This was a a single board computer for industrial kinds of applications. It's not going to have many settings, but let's see how that changed things. Hey, it's CDI. Hello. Oh, I forgot to hit the... Oh, well. Let's do that. Let's restart and make sure to hit shift. It does. The one thing I did find is it makes things more consistent when you don't load your himem.sys and stuff when you're trying to do these benchmarks. This is some sort of PCI. If you notice, it is like a PCI bus based single board computer for 486s, which is very cool. Let's see how much that changed things for us. Weekend production maintenance. That sounds fun. I did notice when I was playing with the Visa Local Bus ones, I actually had a major slowdown if I was using the XT IDE versus the Visa Local Bus IDE controller. Yeah, that made quite a change. If we go back to our spreadsheet, so we're 40.59. Oops. So you can see from changing the speed from 100 to 133 got us like 5 frames per second, but changing our DRAM timings had a major impact on performance. So if you have 486, make sure to futz around with your DRAM timings. It makes a pretty big impact on your performance. Oh, Asmodeus has a 386 Visa local bus system. Very nice. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. That was interesting. We got some stuff working on the PicoIDE. I'm looking forward to new firmware releases, and I think what I'm going to do is figure out a way to mount this underneath, separate out the front panel, and mount that somewhere in the top of this thing. So I think that would be really cool. So I'm trying to figure out where, like maybe over here on the side somewhere, just so that we can see the little OLED panel and futz with stuff. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me. I want you to have a lovely week. I want to thank my patrons, my Janka crew, the folks that really make sure I'm swimming in my Janka: Matt Hargett, Gutbomb, Garth Beagle, Brian Garford, David Starbuck, Ian Scott, Jamie's Hack Shack, All Things DG, Chris Angela, Scout, Check 68K, Bacchus, Asmodeus Devil, Luke, Alan Gracia, Rudy's Retro Intel, Dustin Cooper, CDI, Lazy Blue Goat, Josh and Retro Viator, and Mike Jank Team, Hardware Hacker, Mark Kruger, III, DIY, Charles Bullock, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, Mark from Lenny Max, Mr. Tech Gadget, Mike K, and Mac84. Thank you all so much. Have a lovely week. And as we always say here at the Big Bad Bench, if you're a Trumper, go F yourself. Bye, y'all.